The secret reason Lightning couldn't beat Storm. In Cars 3, we are introduced to an unstoppable new generation race car, Jackson Storm. But despite McQueen's success and experience on the circuit over all these years, he just couldn't beat the new cocky rookie on the block. Even though all of the explainer videos and theories you would see point mainly at the new developments that the new generation vehicles have, and McQueen not being able to match up to the new speed that these cars race with, there are deeper reasons to why Lightning couldn't beat Storm. And even more interesting, some of these reasons are lemon flavored. But before we get into the thick of it, we have to give a run through of Jackson Storm from the beginning. I mean pre-Cars 3. In the Disney Pixar book by David Keane, Cars Origins Storm Chasing, we get a peek into Jackson Storm's life before his IGNTR race career. You see, Storm used to be a professional esports player on the game Super Corsa 3, a really good one for the fact. So when he met Axel P. Biggs of Big Industries, a billionaire who was the host of multiple Super Corsa 3 competitions, it opened doors for Storm to make money from gaming. However, Axel Biggs' interest was way bigger than the esports industry. He was looking for talents that he could develop into real race talent. And the two biggest talents from his competitions were Jackson Storm and Tim Treadless. But Storm didn't want to race. He wasn't interested in being on the circuit, but he didn't have a choice to make after Biggs threatened to take away all of the prizes that he had earned from participating in his competitions. Storm was an excellent racer, but he had a huge attitude problem. He was proud and selfish and would always bully the other race cars under Biggs' group, especially during the simulator training. He would spend more time on the machines, reducing the time allocated to the other cars. One time though, Storm lost to Tim Treadless on the simulator training machine, and since the rest of the race cars weren't fans of how he treated them, they were kinda hyped by Treadless's victory, and Storm wasn't liking it very much. So he accused Treadless of cheating, and on his way out, he drifted in anger, causing the fire alarm in the facility to go off as a result of the smoke from his tires, and in the process damaging the training simulator. This made Axel Biggs really mad and got Storm kicked out of the athlete village. However, Storm's manager, Ray Leverham, clearly saw his talent, so he also quit Biggs' company to go with Storm. Storm later gets recruited as a racer for IGNTR and chooses Ray to be his manager in his new mainstream role. In the third season of the franchise, we see Storm for the first time during the Dinoco 400 race, where he smoothly overtakes McQueen and his long-term colleagues, Bobby and Carl, who both end up retiring to finish in first place. For as long as Jackson Storm was on the circuit racing, Lightning McQueen continued to see taillights, even with how experienced he was. I mean, we are talking about the Lightning McQueen, 7-time Heisting Cup winner and legend on and off the track. Why couldn't he finish first for once in the last season? Why couldn't he just beat Jackson Storm? In Cars 3, we see a transitional era in the race car business. The same way cars in McQueen's Rookies era were built to surpass the old generation of cars, these new cars were equipped with more technology, more style, and more grit to outclass any of the cars that came before them. Take Jackson Storm for example. He is built with the sleek carbon fiber and metal composite and has his chassis from hydroformed alloy and steel. All of these features are targeted at making his speed unmatchable. Plus, his lower center of gravity and maximum performance 850 horsepower V8 hybrid engine that can accelerate from 0 to 60 in an impressive 3.6 seconds. Cars like Jackson Storm were primarily built to beat cars like McQueen, which is why performance-wise, McQueen is no match for Storm. But the fact that McQueen didn't get an upgrade to match with Storm's abilities still remains unclear. We have seen cars adopt enhanced structures like Mater with his bigger tires when he became a wrestler, Mater's wings as a jet plane, and the multiple other times we've seen Mater at his most, Mater self. Why didn't McQueen then improve his parts to match the level Storm was performing on? Well, although cars can get frames and parts replaced and changed, it is important to note that it is their mechanical characteristic. The biological aspect of the cars, which are their non-visible properties, cannot be changed. Take Lizzie, the widow of Radiator Springs founder. Being an elderly car, she occasionally shows signs of dementia, including forgetting things that she said moments ago and misremembering other characters' names. This is an illness tapped to her biology, and that cannot be fixed by any repairs. The biology of cars has to match their frames, and so more insight into that in Cars 2, you see the Lemons complain about how their parts are no longer being produced. I mean, if they could, they would change their appearance to look as fancy as the race cars. With that being said, even if McQueen could have his body reworked, his biological aspects might not be a match for the new generation upgrades. But that is not the only reason McQueen couldn't beat Storm. What I am going to tell you next is going to make you understand why the new rookie was so bent on sending McQueen to retirement. For a moment, it began to seem Storm wasn't even interested in winning, like he was sent to humiliate Lightning. Well, it is hypothetically possible that he was on a mission to end McQueen's career. If we go back to David Keen's Cars Origins Storm Chasing book, where Storm's career before the third Cars movie is explained, we are made to understand that he actually starts racing because he is forced to by the organizer of the Super Corsa 3 gaming competition and CEO of the Biggs company, Axel P. Biggs. David also highlights that Axel Biggs was a billionaire, which was why he was able to use money as leverage to force Storm to race. Now, let me ask you, what other cars do you remember that's a billionaire, interested in race cars, and also bears the name Axel? This theory stems from the point of revenge. You see, in the second Cars movie, it is McQueen and Mater that reveal the evil plans of the secret leader of the Lemon Cars gang, Sir Miles Axelrod. So it only makes sense that he has sent Storm on a secret mission of ending Lightning McQueen's career for throwing him in jail. Hiding his identity would also not be a big deal for the billionaire. We saw how he ran the Lemon Cars gang secretly for so long, and how he was able to hide the real intentions of his all-in-all enterprise from the public for so long. But if you want to know more about that, you should definitely watch our video about Axelrod and his all-in-all. And although Axel P. Biggs and Jackson Storm ended on a sour note after he sent him out of the athletic village for his terrible behavior, Axel was able to force Storm to become a race car, his race car. If you could get his rookie to do what he wanted once, it won't be so difficult to run the same ruse on him again. Still connecting the dots, another car was so interested in McQueen's retirement was the new head of Rusty's, Mr. Sterling. And in as much as his intentions could be justified by the new generation of cars taking over the game and how much sense it would make to have McQueen as rather a face of the company, there is a short scene in Cars 3 where you can find a portrait of Axelrod hanging on the wall of Mr. Sterling's office, meaning they had probably met or are connected in some way. So if there is a chance that Axel P. Biggs is just another alter ego of Sir Miles Axelrod that wants to take revenge on McQueen, then Mr. Sterling surely has a hand to it. And finally, through the Cars franchise, we see a couple of word plays on the weather in regards to racers. In the first film, an arrogant McQueen tells Chick Hicks that he's the Thunder. Then he, Lightning McQueen, is faster than him before flashing poses for all the cameras. This is a reference to the phenomenon that lightning always comes before thunder. Well, a new race car named Storm coming to overtake Lightning McQueen and take the spotlight over him just indicates how a storm would always be more impactful and stronger and much more vicious than the amount of lightning that precedes it. Lightning might not have been able to beat Storm because the new rookie was always meant to outshine him. But now that you know everything about Storm and his journey to becoming the best racing rookie, you might want to know how McQueen got to the top. Well, if it wasn't for his crew chief Doc Hudson, McQueen wouldn't be who he is today. So if you want to find out more about Doc Hudson, make sure to check out the video I made about him as well. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss a new video, and I'll see you in the next one.